So, today we're going to be watching a video by V, responding to criticism, enter the anti-tribalists. So
my previous video was definitely very well received. I got 10 times more likes than dislikes. However, this was to be expected, considering that most of the people who subscribe to my channel do have a bias towards me. So I did read every single comment from my previous video, and I have managed to separate people into 4 groups. The first group of people are the ones who don't care about the issue, which is perfectly fine. Not everyone has to be an activist. If you don't care, that's a reasonable position to have. Then there's the people who agree with me, the people who disagree with me, and I have only respect for them. But then there's like the 4th group of people that I absolutely going to go Anna Kasparian on them and say I have absolutely no respect. Because these types of people, they call themselves the anti-tribalists or the anti-SJWs, right? So they're people who are left-wing partisans. They do not identify as SJWs. However, they pretend to be on your side. This is what pisses me off, right? They pretend to be...
I find it funny that because I disagree with the use of a single tactic, that means that I am no longer anti-SJW. That somehow, because I disagree, maybe a little more vociferously, let's say, then makes V happy that I am no longer an anti-SJW, that I no longer hold the positions that I have held for, I don't know how long now. I don't know. I find it strange that because I disagree on the use of a tactic that is used by SJWs to censor people, to shut people down, that makes me, you're just an SJW pretending to be an anti-SJW. You cannot hold opinions that I would agree with if you disagree with me on this. No, fuck off. I am an anti-SJW. I have been, and I will most likely continue to be in the future. Whether you like that, or whether you do not like that, I couldn't care less for. I couldn't give a damn. It's not up to you. However, if you don't believe me, then you can go digging. You can look through my internet history. That's fine with me. If you want to do that, if you're that obsessed with it, that I am not telling the truth, then fine. Go looking. I don't care. You will not find any, or at least not many, SJW positions that I hold. I have been, again, vociferous against SJW positions, and I will continue to be.
One of your sympathizers who basically understands that social justice is a huge issue in society, but the moment you try to do anything against it, like no matter what, they are going to say, oh, you're like the SJWs, you're absolutely like them, and if you try to do anything like that, we're going to insult you, we're going to character assassinate you, we're going to use every dirty tactic in the book to shut you down. And I do have examples of these people actually doing nasty tactics in order to try to shut down any opposition and any discourse, because they don't want you to become like SJWs, if that makes any sense, right? But anyway, that's going to be for another video. Today I only want to discuss the comment sections in this video. So, what happened, in case you haven't watched the previous video, is that there was a play that had Donald Trump being assassinated. Now, I made that absolutely clear in my previous video that I don't find anything offensive about that. I don't really think that they should be censored in any way. However, a butthurt person from Rebel Media went on the stage for 30 seconds and he started complaining about the political violence and how offensive the play was. Right now, he was escorted out 30 seconds after, and a lot of people were concerned that, okay, you're acting like SJWs now, and the freedom of speech of the artist needs to be respected. But what about the freedom of speech from the Rebel Media guy, right? He went on the stage to voice his concerns, and then, he left. He didn't boycott.
He had no right to go up on that stage. He was not invited onto that stage. He did not belong on that stage. He did not own that stage. He had no right to be on the stage. He was interrupting the experience of people who had paid money to watch the show. He had no right to go up on the stage, and yet he did. That is not a freedom of speech issue. If you think that that is a freedom of speech issue, I would very much like to know why.
Entrance, he didn't pull the fire alarm, he didn't try to get the artist fired, he didn't try to commit any sort of violence towards the people there. Right now, all of these would be SJW tactics, and had he done them, I would have voiced my concerns. However, going on a stage and act like a butthurt is not something that only the SJWs did. Religious people did it way before.
So, because other people have used this tactic before in the past, because other people have used this tactic, that makes it okay for him to use. Why? Why does that make it okay, morally acceptable, for him to use that tactic? And I know that had this been the opposite way around, and it was a SJW, it was an SJW that had gone up on that stage, they would be, and rightfully so, they would be mocked for doing so. They would be made fun of instead of this apologism for what he did. This, I'm neutral, but here's why it's not so bad that he did what he did. I'm going to remain neutral, but I am going to use apologetics to apologize for what he did. I am going to say that what he did, well, it wasn't so bad. Maybe we should all use these tactics instead of none of us using these tactics, because these tactics are meant to silence and shut down free speech. Instead of none of us using these tactics, well, maybe we should adopt these tactics as well. I don't fall for that. I don't buy that. I do not accept that. And that is why I spoke out. Because we should not be using tactics that we criticize others for using. That makes us And yes, I am saying us because I mean the anti-SJW community here. And whatever you want to say about, well, we're not a community, there's a social, there's a thing there. Whether you want to admit it or not, there's a thing there. People do form friendships within this circle. People do have dealings with people within this circle. People know each other in this circle. There is a social relationship. Whether you like that or not, whether you want to admit that or not. So yes, I am saying we. But we should not be using the tactics that we criticize the other side for using. We should not be using tactics that we mock, because that makes us hypocrites. Because that is hypocritical. That is inconsistent. So no, I do not think that we should use those tactics. No, I do not, and that's why I spoke out.
I could show you countless of times where a religious person would have gone on a stage or tried to shut down an event by acting really offended. Even in my country, where we don't have SJWs, there have been people who try to stop certain plays, by making a mockery out of themselves. So I don't really see how this has anything to do with what an SJW would do. I don't see how it's the social justice activism going on. It's simply like a guy who watched the play, didn't like it, got butthurt, went on the stage, and when he was escorted out, he left without making much of a ruckus. So I'm not going to call it out. I'm honestly not going to complain about that. But what I am going to complain is about some of the response that I got, right? So this is from Social Liberal Pepe, right? This is one of the anti-tribalists that I spoke about. And I want to make it absolutely clear, right? I have listened to the arguments coming from these people for the last couple of weeks now. I have heard every way you're trying to spin this, and I have one conclusion for you. Fuck off, right? I listened to your arguments. I don't agree with them. Stop bothering. At this point, you can just fuck off. Because look at this, right? So he is saying how it's okay for us to be hypocrites, and why I think we should be immune from criticism for it. Fuck off. So notice how he uses the words us and we constantly, right? And you can see this in everything that he says, because he goes like, we could just continue to speak out against it. To join, more people would join us, as we have been doing. So basically, this person doesn't have the letter I in his vocabulary, as you can notice. And then he criticizes me for being a mindless tribalistic idiot. Like, don't you see a little bit of hypocrisy here? Like, you don't use the word I ever. Like, you cannot speak as an individual. You're just incapable of doing that. So basically what you are doing is you expect other people to do what you say, otherwise they're tribalistic.
I do not expect anyone to do as I say, but I can criticize people for things that I personally feel are wrong. I used the word I there several times, so yeah, I know how to use it. Back to the video.
Like the opposite be true? Like if people think for themselves and decide to give you the middle finger, wouldn't that make them individuals just pointing it out? Like from watching my video, where exactly did I say that people should do the actions of what Rebel Media should? In fact, I made it absolutely clear. I have nothing against the play. I would never do something like this. I would never encourage someone to do something like this. But at the same time, I don't have to condemn it. I don't want to condemn it. That's
You're not going to criticize them doing it, but you're not going to encourage someone else to do it. Well, that would be fine if it weren't the type of thing that you had criticized the left wing for doing when they did those tactics. If you